To create artificial general intelligence, a scientist resorts to gruesome experiments. For this, he lures 109 people into an abandoned city on an island. The action unfolds on a train. People are going about their business. Police officer Loren and his partner Yu are watching a girl named Jiang, suspected of murder. Soon, the train approaches the coast and people get distracted by the beautiful views, not noticing the thief who, walking through the car, cleans out their bags and pockets. But Loren and Yu detain the guy. Jiang notices the loss of her bag with documents, but the thief doesn't have it. Suddenly, the train starts shaking, and against the will of the driver named Fei, veers onto another track. Fei tries to stop the train, but it enters a tunnel which is recorded by an unknown drone monitoring it. Soon the train stops at an abandoned station. People look around the platform, not understanding where they have arrived. There is no connection, and calling for help is impossible. Everyone gets out of the cars. Soon, someone notices doors, passing through which people find themselves in the middle of an abandoned city. No one knows what this place is, and they decide to explore. The train chief handcuffs the thief to a metal door and goes with everyone else. Soon, people find an abandoned supermarket. Officer Loren notices that the date on the receipts is 20 years old. Meanwhile, an AI voiceover narrates that the train has entered the tunnel. 109 life forms have arrived in the city for the experiment. Bats will be released at night. Everything is going according to plan. Evening falls. Fei's son, disobeying his mother, runs away and gets lost in the city. Some passengers volunteer to help search, and breaking into groups, begin to search the city. Suddenly, Loren finds bodies of people with their throats cut, and then bats attack them. The passengers left in the store notice bats hitting the windows. The first wounded rush inside, and the train chief immediately locks the doors behind them, while the others start barricading the windows. Loren and his group hide in a post office building. In the store, those bitten by bats die, despite the help of a doctor among the passengers. People at the post office realize they cannot hold the doors and escape through the back exit. Noticing them, one of the girls in the store rushes to open the doors, but a businessman stops her, fearing for the lives of the others. Unexpectedly, an elderly man volunteers to open the door after everyone hides in the warehouse. He waits until people reach the store and lets them in, but then Loren discovers that Jiang ran towards the station. Loren and Yu go to the back exit. Jiang is freeing the thief and asks him to return her documents. At this time, Loren leaves, asking Yu to stay at the door and let him back in. The thief leads Jiang to the train. In the store, the businessman persuades Yu to close the door and not let his friend in. Meanwhile, the thief gives Jiang her bag. The pair is immediately attacked by bats. They run towards the store and arrive there with Loren. At this time, Fei's son, walking alone, sees a lit lighthouse and heads towards it. Meanwhile, Yu opens the back door of the store, and Loren, Jiang, and the thief manage to escape. The businessman meets them sternly, as if bats get in, no one will survive. Therefore, they also do not let Fei, who wants to go search for her son, out. In the morning, the passengers learn that the bats have flown away. Fei immediately rushes to the door, but the others do not want to let her go, as there will be no one to drive the train. Fei offers to give the keys to someone else. It turns out that Shin also knows how to drive the train. A dispute arises over who to entrust the keys to. Then the businessman reminds them of the brave old man who opened the doors for others. He is clearly trustworthy, and the keys to the train should be given to him while the others search for the child. The man turns out to be a teacher, and everyone agrees that he is a good person and definitely will not leave alone. The businessman orders everyone to return at 4 o'clock, and people set out to search. Jiang surprises Loren with her knowledge of the area, although she initially said she had never been here. In the store, the businessman announces that it is time to head to the train. At this time, Jiang also asks Fei to go with everyone, but the woman refuses to return. The passengers, meanwhile, board the train, and the businessman deceitfully forces the teacher to give up the keys early. Shin starts the engine. However, the train, gaining speed, immediately stops because the path is blocked by debris. People again return to the store and barricade the windows and doors. However, the back door opens by itself and bats fly inside. People fight back, but many are bitten. Loren's group saves everyone. They break down the doors and the passengers escape, but once outside, they suddenly find that the bats are gone. A dispute breaks out. Yu accuses the train chief of not waiting for them and trying to leave, but the businessman urges people to stop arguing and focus on survival. Jiang says there is a hotel nearby, and Loren is again surprised by her knowledge. People head to the hotel, and the first thing they do is reinforce the windows and doors. Shin fixes the electricity, after which the passengers disperse to the rooms. Later, Faye hears a whistle and tries to go outside, sure that her son is there. Jiang and Lauren go with her and find the child in the store, but then bats appear and attack Faye. Jiang manages to take the boy away, but his mother is bitten. In the store, Zuri tells that at night he saw how the lanterns react to his whistle, but when the bats flew in, he hid in the lighthouse's house. The businessman examines a map found in the room and discovers that they are on an island. But how did this happen? In the morning, he tells everyone about it and suggests splitting up and exploring the surroundings. However, Lauren suggests burying the dead first, but people decide to pile the bodies on the first floor to later take them home. Z cries on his mother's chest, not noticing her fingers twitching. Later, people disperse around the island. It turns out that Zhang also has a map, but she leaves alone, not noticing Lauren's surveillance. Meanwhile, the businessman's group finds a port, but there are neither boats nor ships in it. At this time, Zhang remembers how, as a child, she followed her mother and walked this road. Then a guard stopped her. Now she descends into the basement. The train chief falls off the pier. His assistant Shin saves him. But instead of gratitude, the man starts a fight. And suddenly, the previously meek assistant beats up the chief. Zhang meets Lauren in the basement, who accuses her of murdering the professor, as he saw her on the home surveillance video of the scientist. But she does not deny this. Only that evening, she did not enter the professor's apartment because she received a message from him. As proof, Zhang shows the SMS. The group of passengers realizes there is no way off the island. Suddenly, screams are heard. 2 passengers have fallen and are badly injured. The doctor orders them to be taken to the hotel, where he tries to set up an operating room. But without instruments, the doctor cannot perform the operation. Returning, Zhang lets slip that there is a hospital nearby. Lauren suggests going there and finding instruments. After they return, the doctor performs a successful operation. The next morning, Lauren demands that Zhang give up the city map, and when she refuses, he takes her bag, in which there are medicines. Zhang loses consciousness. The doctor finds out that she has a rare hereditary disease, and without medicine, the girl will die. Lauren feels guilty, but taking out the pills, suddenly finds a note in which Zhang has offered to take this very train to get answers about her mother's disappearance. Later, everyone gathers in the hall. The businessman suggests searching the island again and collecting everything that can be eaten. At this time, Zhang tells Lauren that she received a letter with a photo of her mother, a map, and a train ticket. She remembered that her mother worked here but does not know what exactly she did. But the policeman is much more interested in who sent this letter. Meanwhile, people disperse around the island in search of provisions. The teacher joins the businessman's group, and in the store, he finds a whole box of crackers. But the businessman suggests hiding the find, and when the old man refuses, Shin hits him. The businessman orders the old man to be tied up and the crackers to be hidden. Everyone gathers at the hotel, and the businessman lies that the teacher left alone. Later, Lauren finds out that Haitao, the businessman's nephew, gave a package of crackers to a girl he liked. Lauren finds out where he got the crackers and goes to the store, where he finds the tied-up teacher. Lauren and Yu bring the old man to the hotel, tie up the businessman and his people, and lock them in the store. In the morning, the chief discovers that the warehouse doors are broken and the crackers are gone. Lauren and Yu notice tracks, following which they catch an unfamiliar girl named Nana, who was not with them on the train. She says she fell off a boat and swam ashore near the island. She has been here for 70 days and is very hungry. She also has a radio, which when turned on, people hear a message that thousands of rescuers are searching for the train using helicopters, boats, and drones, but all to no avail. Nana is accepted into the community. Meanwhile, one of the women sneaks into the store and brings food and water to the prisoners, but on the way back, she suddenly sees several resurrected people. The terrified woman returns to the store, and at the hotel, the doctor's wife is also attacked by a zombie and bitten. At this time, the businessman and his accomplices free themselves and, looking at the zombies, understand that these are passengers bitten by bats. There is also a zombie attack at the hotel. People panic and try to hide or run away. The businessman's group escapes from the store through the back door. At the hotel, Lauren tries to save people, but zombies are everywhere. Lauren and the chief lock the gates, cutting off the zombies from the passengers, and barricade themselves in a large hall. But several infected get in, who are caught and tied up. However, among the survivors, there is no Zhang with the child. Lauren and Yu go to look for them and arrive just in time. The businessman's group fights off a crowd of zombies in the former police building and finds weapons in police cars. Nearby, they find barrels of gasoline. At this time at the hotel, Lauren distracts the zombies, ordering Yu to take the people they saved, while he faces an unequal battle. The doctor, examining his wife's pupils, notices a strange reaction and suggests that it is some kind of virus affecting the human nervous system. At this time, the businessman's people return to the hotel and rescue Lauren by shooting the zombies. The businessman apologizes to the passengers and offers help. After all, now he can protect them. The doctor's wife begins to turn into a zombie. Later, the train chief starts distributing food, and it turns out he divides it based on a person's usefulness. The teacher cannot work, so he gets a reduced portion. This causes outrage among the passengers, but the chief shows a gun. At this time, the businessman shows the boat he found, and later gathers in his room men who understand at least something about technology and promises to take them off the island if they repair the boat. In the evening, the train chief quietly eats hidden food, not noticing a bat that has entered the warehouse, and is immediately attacked. The bat flies further, scaring the hotel residents until Yu shoots it, and Shin drives the former chief out into the street. At this time, Lauren dissects the bat and finds a chip inside it. Jiang recalls an experiment in which a bat's brain was stimulated with electricity, making it a fierce predator. Jiang also finds poison inside that causes rabies. But the main thing is that someone controls the bat through this receiver, and this unknown person is here on the island. At this time, zombies return to the hotel. The infected wife of the doctor immediately feels this, and the child starts hearing ultrasound. The businessman and his people start shooting, but Lauren forbids killing the infected, as they may be cured. The infected are caught and tied up. At night, Jiang remembers the ultrasound that the child hears. Maybe it is used to control the infected people? Meanwhile, Z frees his mother from the ropes and the woman attacks her son. Lauren arrives just in time and pulls the boy away, but Faye bites the policeman. The man leaves the hotel. However, outside he is caught by Jiang and taken to the lighthouse, where she ties him up at his request. In the AI report for that day, it writes that the main goal of the infection introduction is to divide and clash people, to reveal their true nature. And when Jiang followed the infected Lauren, it proved that feelings are more important to people than safety. At night at the hotel, the businessman gives a gun to Yu and talks about the boat, offering to join his team. In the morning, he asks Yu to take him to where his friend Lauren is and hands him a bag with a large sum of money. Yu suggests that Lauren went to the lighthouse that Jiang talked about a lot and goes there with the businessman's team. The group arrives at the lighthouse and Shin points a gun at the policeman, despite Jiang's protests. Suddenly, Yu intervenes for the guy and asks to be left alone with his friend. The men leave, taking Jiang with them. After some time, she sees Lauren fall off the cliff. She goes to look for his body. At this time, the businessman tells the others about the policeman's death. Jiang, who has returned, passes by with disdain. Later, Yu comes to her and admits that they had promised each other to kill whoever gets infected, but the girl reminds him that this disease can be cured. Yu leaves and recalls how he betrayed Lauren by passing his investigation data to a criminal. Meanwhile, the doctor finds an ultrasound photo of a baby among his wife's things and realizes that she is pregnant. In the morning, people listen to news about their search. It turns out that the tunnel is blocked by a landslide, and it will take a lot of time to clear it. Learning about this, the businessman orders the boat to be repaired faster. Jiang remembers that the teacher taught physics. She tells him about the chip in the bat and asks him to build an ultrasound transmitter from the ultrasound machine she found. Meanwhile, the thief goes down to the basement and unexpectedly hears Nana talking to someone. On the same day, the doctor's wife escapes from the hotel. Meanwhile, Jiang involves Yu and the thief in creating a trap for the bats, and the businessman finds a surveillance camera in his closet. Later, others also find them in their rooms. In the morning, people bring the cameras to the common hall. Moreover, the manufacturing dates on the devices are recent. Meanwhile, the doctor finds his wife in the city, but she attacks him, as do other zombies. The man has to flee to the hotel, where the businessman learns from him the zombie's location, and the doctor recalls seeing Lauren there. After this conversation, Yu goes to Jiang and gives her the police investigation records on her professor. The girl is sure that it is impossible to kill with the help of artificial intelligence. However, here she managed to access the unknown observer's server, but she does not yet have a general connection, so she cannot send a distress signal. In the morning, people see the businessman's armed squad going to exterminate the zombies. Hearing that Lauren is alive, Jiang runs after the group.